in total. The remaining money is used specifically for cameras, and now that we know how much left, in addition to those 12 that we'll have that are mobile, we'll be able to use that remaining money basically to buy the last lot of cameras.
And that includes installation and all this stuff?
Because we're doing that basically in-house.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be taking care of that ourselves. Okay. Any other questions at this time about surveillance? Or
if a business wants to buy into this package,
most definitely. We've got now at least price points provided by the manufacturers on all these that give us the ability to pass that savings on to anybody else that wants to basically invest in it. Ideally, my hope is that working together as a group here and with Dave, we can establish a business crime watch kind of initiative across the city to give businesses the opportunity to make an investment that protects both them, their employees, their customers, and at the same time the street. So we, for example, can actually watch their front door, watch their back door. If they decide that they want to make an investment on a few cameras internal, we can actually give them the option to add a few cameras inside that are exclusive of this system, so that way we can't basically look at what's going on inside the business, but it could all be tied into basically the same recording system. The best way typically to do that, instead of having a business have to capitalize it, is to give them an option to be able to buy in and actually make a monthly payment towards it, having the system in place. Going forward, I think there's an opportunity for us to at least be able to get some small grants that we can apply to helping businesses get set up. But it makes it at least economical. These cameras, although they are more expensive, they're not as expensive as what we could have bought. But certainly these are about the best you're going to be able to get for the money. So it'd be good for a business to get. Yes?
Somebody wants to buy a camera. What's the fee going to be for their camera, get it set up, and get the feed running with
I've not had a chance really to talk with Dave about that yet. Ultimately, that whole business plan for the Business Crime Watch initiative is something he's working on. I know it's something he's excited about being able to get launched, but the finite details of it, I don't know exactly what
all
those
those prices that were put out at the last meeting, they're not.
At the last meeting, we actually quoted pricing for the cameras that the city would be paying as part of this grant. So as far as the total price, though, to the end user, yes. I mean, essentially, we're going to pass our exact cost off to anybody else that would want to be able to buy them. Now, those cameras, like I said, are around $1,215 on the high end.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, it was real quick figure, and I figured like $3,000 would get you set up for a camera.
You'd have a network video recorder and a camera. Basically, it's about $3,000 for those two items. Now, if you want to be able to add additional cameras, each of those network video recorders can support up to 10 cameras. So for a business, even though you may only start off with one camera, you have the ability to expand and add additional cameras as your budget would allow. But minimally, at least that investment in that network video recorder and that additional camera allows you to watch your front door, back door, and be able to help protect the street at the same time.
Okay, so if say we want to get two cameras, the one video recorder would handle the two cameras.
That's correct.
And we would have that feed coming in to the building, plus it would also go to City Hall.
The feed would come in basically into the building and City Hall, well, not City Hall, but the police department would have access to that network video recorder and that live video feed whenever they would want it. At the same time, we look to give that same access to, of course, the business owner, so that if they need it for some reason, they would have access to it as well.
So roughly $4,500 to $5,000 for two cameras and a video.
Correct. And honestly, the systems we've invested in, I'm looking to be able to help businesses get set up. So from my point of view, there's not a need to actually have a lot of installation costs here. We can actually show you how to install it yourself, and I'd help you configure it. It doesn't take that much. A little bit of time, 15, 20 minutes basically, and we can show you what you need to know to get it set up.
Another thing that was on that last meeting was if you purchase 20, you got one free. That was with the That was with the wholesaler before?
No, actually, that wholesaler worked with this particular supplier because they work together day to day, and they're passing that same deal off to us. So that's continued. We get five.
As the more you can get, the more beneficial it could be for the city, because if you get 40,
Correct.
you get 2 free cameras.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct. That deal's not going away.
Is there a,
Yeah, Michael or
is there
Francis?
an outlook on maintenance, yearly maintenance for these, or?
No, actually, that was one of the other things we wanted to shop around for. The Robotics cameras are German-made. There's no moving parts, and they have extensive track record of being essentially zero maintenance because of that. The time when you get into maintenance, it's more cleaning. The key to surveillance cameras is that you have to go clean the lens, no different than you clean your glasses every day. Bottom line is your camera, you can have a 10-megapixel camera that you spent $20,000 on, but if there's a spider crawling across the lens, you're out of luck. So bottom line is you have to have a team of people that go out routinely and at least wipe the lenses clean. That's really the only maintenance we're going to have on the camera systems. Everything basically else is zero maintenance. In fact, the server that we've invested in is a Linux-based server system. If you do any research on Linux, Linux basically is the system that you really want to be running your server on if you can, because it's got zero viruses, no maintenance, no updates. Once it's installed and operating, it's essentially hands-off. So for us, we don't have to go back and do auto updates, and we don't have to treat it like a computer. These machines will take care of themselves. The biggest issue we're honestly going to have typically with any system like this is you're going to have power surges. The UPS units we're investing in is going to protect that unit from getting a surge, but if you get a lightning strike, for example, of one of the pumping stations and it pops power, it's going to hit our equipment too, and we'll just have to carry our insurance on that to cover it.
If every business in Sunbury would get involved in it without paying a fee, don't you think it's going to put a lot of work on these guys? Because every business is going to call and say, hey, check at 1153 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, they actually don't have to. Typically, the only time the police would check in on the camera system would be whenever there's an incident that
Well, that's what I mean. What if
warrants
it's
it.
just anything and they just start calling left and right? Say, I think something happened here. You know what I mean?
Well, ultimately, I guess whenever you have eyes on the street, no different than with Crime Watch. When we invest in having volunteers for Crime Watch, they see things, they make a telephone call too. That's why it's helpful to do it under an organized business Crime Watch initiative, because part of that initiative involves a little bit of upfront training to basically advise that business owner on things that they should be looking for, things that they should be concerned about, things that they should make a telephone call to warrant, basically investigation. Other stuff, they know that it's there, that if they want it, they can go back and get it. But that's why you got to be a little bit proactive on the upfront to be able to do some training with it.
But Todd, I think, Francis, it's a situation that the bad guy knows that every business has a camera watching them. They won't come to this town.
No, right. Yeah, of course.
And the business will see itself first, say, look, this guy's, stealing from me, or somebody breaking the window, and they can talk to the police,
It also would be a tool to identify the culprits too.
Today's society, you don't go anywhere without being on camera, especially in the bigger cities.
You have to show a card every place where you look.
Any other questions at all? If not, we'll move on to the next item, I guess, which is approval to pay invoices. The vouchers report would have been sent out the latter part of last week. We're looking basically to make payment tonight, which again we'll talk about the next meeting, out of the general fund in an amount of $166,605.58. Tax exoneration reports, of course, are included in everyone's packets. I guess at this time, any audience comment? Questions, concerns? I guess, yes, actually, Rick, first, please. You have your hand first.
Richard Sinko, 3rd Assistant Fire Chief, City of Sunbury. I have a statement I'd like to read to the council. Sunbury Mayor David Persing, Sunbury City Council. It is with my deepest regret and thoughtfulness that I inform you, as of this date, I am officially retiring from the Sunbury Fire Department, and as of 3rd Assistant Fire Chief, and all fire department related duties. I was sworn in by you folks. You know my record and what I have done for this betterment of this city and its inhabitants. I have sacrificed more than most. I've left my children on their birthdays, I've left my grandchildren at Christmas.